beautiful practice of yoga is always a practice of reciprocity. Receive and give and receive. And even though we can be in our own world practicing, it also reminds us that we're part of this bigger whole. W-H-O-L-E. I am wearing my prosthetic right now. And what's nice about the chair is if you are working with a hand, you can either push down into the chair or grab hold of underneath the chair or the leg, front or back. Okay, I'm going to use the back because my arms are long. And resist. So you get even more elongation as you exhale and reach over. And inhale, come back. And other side. You may notice that I have some things around me, so I'll just talk about those while we're waiting. This little stool. Okay, this is a little foldable stool, and we use it a lot in yoga for amputees. So the idea is for people who want to get to the floor and maybe are relatively proficient, right? So if they have never gotten to the floor in yoga, I usually don't do that first time with somebody because I also have to lift them, and I'm also working with a prosthetic. But if they if they have learned it, sometimes having a stool and doing a step down version to come to the floor can be really nice, right? Just get a little extra support to come down. Sometimes we'll have blankets here. So if you are practicing or want to practice, these are just things that you can invest in, a little foldable stool. And then you'll notice I have this big fluffy fake sheepskin. I'll call it a rug, I guess. But sometimes you don't need to do a big, vigorous yoga class. You just want to sit on something really soft and comfortable. And this will give you support, but it also is just really comfy and relaxing. So if you've taken any of the classes that I offer, I do a lot of gentle floor classes, and these are really nice to lie in, okay? And then you'll also see that I have a strap here. So if you've taken classes with me, or if you'd like to, I'll tell you more about that towards the end. This is an actual yoga strap, okay? So there's a loop, and you use the loop, you use the strap and loop into it to create different experiences in your body. For example, if you have a tendency to roll your thigh out, or you feel like your prosthetic is really heavy and you want to get more support, you might put the strap around the upper limbs here and resist by pulling it in, and then that just gives you a little extra support and helps you to sit up taller. Okay, so you'll notice if you take classes with me or any of our Yoga for Amputee certified instructors, we'll talk about either having a yoga strap or a bathrobe strap or tie, something like that. Okay, so always the option is to try to find things around the house first. You don't have to invest a lot of money. Okay, and that's that. And then you'll see I have a blanket. So a little firmer blanket is better. Those are balls, I better hide them, right? So that you can easily fold it. But if you don't have a blanket that's really firm like this, any blanket will do, because what you use the blankets for is things like, say, again, your lower back is really uncomfortable, and this is where you are in your body. You want to have this blanket, for example, to put right underneath your bottom, okay, and that helps you just line up a little more. Okay, you can use, say you're a hemipelvectomy and you don't have your sits bone there, you can use the edge of your blanket to balance out the hips, so the hips are even. And if you are a leg amputee, you know, if you have a prosthetic, your prosthetist is always checking your hip alignment, right? Because that can get really tender and a little out of shape, right? And again, if you are not in our group yet, the Yoga for Amputees members group on Facebook, I teach classes there every week. And there is a class this Friday at 9 Eastern Standard Time on hip flexors, okay? Different ways that we can use it. Also the chair, right? So you may have noticed that I use the whole chair. I use the front, the back. I use the back here. I use these, the legs, both the front and the back, for all sorts of reasons. So for example, one of the practices we have is a chair yoga practice. And I actually put the strap around the front leg of the chair and do a whole bunch of different exercises, right, with the strap to add resistance, okay? And we'll keep going. So a yoga block. I know people can say you can use big books and things like that, but these yoga blocks, they're foam, they have a little cushion in them. I think these are, if you're going to invest in anything in yoga, invest in 2 yoga blocks at least, if not 4 for amputees, because they really help bring the floor to you, right? If you can't reach the floor, for example, if you need to sit up on something, they're great for things like forward bends, if you can't touch the floor yet, okay? Use it to create muscular strength between the limbs, whatever you have, even if you're wearing your prosthesis or not, okay? So really good to invest in yoga blocks. Now we get into yoga mats, okay? So, you know, I'm a pink girl, so this is more about the pink than the actual stickiness of the mat. But you want to if you're going to invest in a yoga mat, you want to have a yoga mat that's got some stick to it, because for many of us, if we're a leg amputee, the prosthetics can be really slippery. What we don't want is too sticky, because then it's hard for us to lift up and step on the mat, right? So something that's got a little tack in it, right, but can keep you from sliding. And the cheaper the mat, the more it's going to wear and tear quickly, and the less you're going to be able to use it, and the stickiness is going to go pretty quickly, okay? So I would invest in a yoga mat, and guess what? The yoga mat, it's rolled up right now, okay? So I use the yoga mat for amputee classes where people don't get out of a chair, and we put it behind our spine, so our spine is lifted up. We put it at our hips so we can roll forward and elongate the hips. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to keep it, just roll it out and stand on it. It's also useful for other things, okay? So a yoga mat, that's a good investment as well. And finally, I recommend for amputees to get something like these. These are, this is called Holistic Fit. They're firm balls, but not too firm. And what they do is they help release muscle tightness, right? They're called fascial release. So the fascia is that protective layer around the muscles. And we use these balls a lot in yoga for amputees. They do feel good, right? Rolling around them, but they can also be ouchy if we haven't moved in a while. I know because I have plantar fasciitis right now, and I am literally putting this in my calf and waiting for the pain to start so I can release my foot, but it really helps, okay? So these are a really good thing. Oh, tennis balls are fine, but they're pretty firm. These are firm, but they have a little give to them, okay? And tennis balls can break because they're air in the middle, right? These are full. And anything else I want to see about these? So for us as amputees, one of the tips and tricks I recommend, though, is specifically, so if you're going to massage or open a part of your body, say you want to open the side of your body with these balls, or rolling on your yoga mat on the floor, right? Just rolling around on it. I'll show you on the floor. You want to not go. You don't want to go into the scar tissue, okay? Because with amputees, our scar tissue is funny. It's got a purpose too, even though it can limit us in many ways. It's also protecting us. And you don't want to. You want to go toward scar tissue, but you don't want to go into it, right? Now,